Hi everybody, Doug Davis with Cowtown. We've got a brand new 2014 Z521C here. It's got a lot of very new features for this year on it. We're going to kind of walk you through the boat here. First off, it's got one of the new 112-pound thrust Minn-Kota trolling motors on it. Compared to the 101, it's a good upgrade from the years previous. It is a universal sonar, meaning your fish finders, you don't have to put the transducer down here. It reads through the trolling motor. This particular boat does have a keel protector on it, of course. I wouldn't buy a boat this size without a keel protector. It's also got a trailer parking brake on it, so no more finding your blocks to put under the wheels. I mean, you flip that down and your boat's locked. It's going to stay where you put it. Other features on the boat. This boat here does have the recessed trolling motor pedal. And I'm sure most of you know what it's for, but what it is, a lot of older fishermen have back problems. And that's because the trolling motor was mounted high up on the deck, and when you're leaning up against the butt seat, all your weight's on one foot and one leg, one hip, and it's kind of bad for your back and your hips. So recessed trolling motor pedals in boats have been a huge upgrade in comfort compared to the last several years where a lot of boats didn't have them. Nice feature. Another great feature on the Ranger Z boats. Fiberglass is very hard to stand on. It's like standing on concrete all day, and a lot of guys spend 8 hours a day up on this fishing deck. And what Ranger's done, there's a big thick rubber pad underneath the carpeting on this boat. So it's like standing on a rubber mat on a concrete floor. It's just a lot easier on your back. Another feature Ranger's done, we've had bigger guys in the past say that the seat was too far forward. So they've put 2 seat pedestals in this boat. Depending on how long-legged or how big of a guy you are, you can move this forward or back now without and still have your leg room. These aren't nothing new, but they are on the boat. These hold your fishing poles in there, keep it from bouncing around when you're ripping across the lake. Something else I think that's kind of nice, this isn't brand new, but in the past the kickstand on this trolling motor has just rested on the carpet, and of course as time goes on we've seen the carpet a little bit ate up. Now they're putting this nice little plastic piece here just to kind of protect your carpet. Gives that kickstand a good place to set so it's not beating up the carpet. Now they've done away with the navigation light pole. In the past we've had a nav light pole that you put up in the bow of the boat. They're actually building these lights in the bow now, so there's no losing. I mean, we've had calls from guys, man, I lost my front light and I'm at a tournament. What do I do? Well, they're on the hunt trying to find one. These are built into the boat now, so nothing to lose, nothing to tear off, nothing to forget at home. Of course, recessed anchor cleats are pretty standard for a lot of Rangers. Been doing it a long time. I like these. You know, when you got an anchor cleat sticking up there, it's something just to get hung on with your foot or your shirt getting in and out of the boat. Being able to click them back where they're out of the way and reasonably flush, I think is a pretty big deal. This particular boat, we did do the Raptor wheel upgrade on it. Good looking set of wheels. Great colors on this boat as well. Raptor. Now another big upgrade on the boats, in my opinion. In the past, the consoles have been attached to the side of the boat. And what they did, I mean, every couple of years it seems like the fishing poles are getting longer and longer. I remember when 6.6s come out, and then 7.6s. Now 8-footers are out. And when you laid them on the front deck, they were into the console. Now they've got the console separated from the boat, so as the rods get longer, it allows them to lay in here instead of rubbing up against the console or in the side of the boat. So that is a good upgrade. Okay, now this is our mainstay here at Cowtown. This is an Evinrude E-Tech. This Z521C has a fine one on it. It's one of the new two-tone graphite gray colors. I think it's the best looking engine on the market right now by far. Also an outstanding performer, very fast, fuel efficiency is good. The newer motors have the lower water pickups down here in the nose. There's six holes drilled down here. So as you raise that dude up on your hydraulic jack plate that this boat does have, it's still got a low water pickup. You can get the engine out of the water a little higher. Still got good water going into the engine as well. Like I said, it does have the 10-inch Atlas hydraulic jack plate, which is very good for shallow water, of course, and it gives your boat a little performance difference when you learn how to tweak that jack plate at the proper speed. Okay, now this is a great feature for 2014, and As I'm getting a little older in life, I'm starting to really appreciate this. This is a remote drain plug. Drain plug in, drain plug out, simply by twisting that knob. These boats, I mean, to get the, they have such a hangover on the transom to get the plug in and out of it. You've got to get on your hands and knees to do that. And when you're out on a boat ramp and it's wet or in the snow, or in the summer when you got your shorts on crawling around the concrete, it's just one more thing you have to do. This remote drain plug is awesome. Somebody should have thought of it 10 years ago. It's a great feature. Another very good feature on this boat is the remote oil fill. Good feature. I mean, in the past we've had to open the deck lid, climb in the boat, get a funnel out, pour oil in, hope we didn't get any on the carpet. Remote oil fill is great. You need your outboard oil, simply take the cap off, put your oil in it, and you're good to go. Okay, a good feature on this 521 is the live well system. Now this particular live well in this particular boat, now these are options that dealers or customers have to order. It has a pure oxygen aerator in it, meaning it gets more oxygen in a live well than a standard live well, which will give your fish a lot more life. Another very good feature that's ordered in the boat, it has what's called a remote pump out. Now, simply what that remote pump out does is there's a bilge hole back here in the transom. So at the end of the day, when you're at your weigh-in, you take your weigh-in bag, you walk back to the boat, you turn the pump out on, water squirts out of the back of the boat, and you can fill your weigh-in bag full of water, lowers your live well water level. The fish are easier to get out of the live well when the water's lower, of course. You're not going to race around in there and you have to chase them and get stuck by a fish. Just a nice feature. I mean, the benefit to this feature is, you know, like I said, I'm a little bit of an old fisherman. I remember the days of having to run down, fill my weigh-in bag at the lake, and then run back up real quick to get the fish out of the live well. So don't have to do that in this boat. Certainly save you some steps, and you look pretty cool doing it, by the way. Another good feature that they've done in this 2014 model, you can see in the past they've always had a lip of carpet right here. Now we have this strip across here. Now what that does for us, in the past this bass boat's got a little age on it because people were climbing on and off the rear deck and always stepping here, and the carpet started to wear out or kind of fade just because this was a high traffic area. Putting this strip across here is really lengthened the carpet life, that's for sure, and it stays looking good a lot longer. Now another feature in the 2014 that they changed was this lid here. In the past, it was hinged the other way, where it opened from the front. And obviously they had some problems there. Guys forgot to latch them. They blew open going down the highway. They blew open going down the lake. And it was just one thing that I think they upgraded. They actually turned the lid around backwards now, so as the wind's blowing on it, it's not going to blow this compartment open. Now while we're in the cockpit here, another amazing feature of this boat, and there again something I think somebody should have thought of long ago, is that it has an adjustable driver's seat. So if the driver's smaller or longer legged, we can scoot this seat forward and backward now, and that's something that's really changed. It's been a big selling point to get people into 2014, I'll tell you. Now there again, this is an ordered feature in the boat, but this boat does have tilt wheel. Now it has what we call blinker trim switches in them, and they look like blinkers. One operates the jack plate. I can raise and lower that jack plate back there with one, and the other operates the trim on the motor. Now the whole idea about them putting up here is, of course the boat does have a hot foot in it, so when you're driving with the hot foot, you got the boat in gear, you can have both hands on the wheel, still operate your trim and your hydraulic jack plate. Okay everybody, in this particular boat we ordered something a little different here, and this for me was hard. You know, I was used to the HDS 10s and they're good sellers. But Jason Parsons at Ranger really talked us into this unit. It's the new HDS 9 Touch, and I'll tell you, after playing with it a little bit, it is a phenomenal fish finder. You don't have a bunch of buttons over here anymore. You simply touch the screen, takes you where you want to go. Great feature in this boat. You can zoom it in, you can take it out, all with the touch of a finger. This particular boat has twin HDS 9s. It has them in the front and the back, and it is also equipped with structure scan. Now, other features here, this piece right here is a net holder. That's a great place to put your net when you're transporting a boat. The handle just slips in there, net lays on the floor. You got some kind of some tool organizers right here for your needle nose pliers and whatnot, just so you don't have to constantly be opening a box to get in. One other thing they did in the past, the ruler has been mounted under the lid for the center rod box. They moved it to the outside, so now every time you get a fish on that's questionable, you don't have to open this lid to get it out. It just sits right there, stays in there pretty good. Now another awesome feature that they have put in the boat, and anybody who's owned a Z boat or plenty of other brands of boat, by the way, has certainly had problems with this. But in the past, these decks now are sealed up so tight they hold water. And not only do they hold water, but they you get a lot of condensation in them. And that's always been a problem. I mean, you're putting your poles away, you're putting tackle away, that stuff's wet. And two things people were doing. First, they were putting carpet inside there, which is nice and plush, but it got wet, it got moldy, because your poles and everything were that way too. But in this particular model, they have added a ventilation system in the front deck. You can hear it running now. Now there's fans in the front deck of the compartments of this boat. Ventilates it very, very well. I mean, all the old complaints we had about these boats has gone away with this. You don't get the condensation in there anymore. It dries your poles and your bait off good. Just an amazing feature. I would have never personally thought about putting in a boat, but somebody at Ranger certainly did figure it out. Now, just a very small thing. The last year Ranger that we had, it did have these slots in the console here. They looked really cool. But going to the boat shows and stuff, we found out one of the first things the guy noticed about it was, boy, it'd be easy to get the end of my pole stuck in there and break it off. 2014, they put a screen in here, so you can't get your pole caught up in one of these and break a tip off. They did a good job there. Now, I showed you the inside of this center rod locker. Benefit to the center rod locker is this, you know, it's one of the biggest innovations in bass boats in my opinion, and it's nothing brand new, but the benefit is, in days gone by, the benefit is, like any other tournament fishing, I've always had my rods stacked here and here, and I may decide I need a different rod out for some reason. I've always had to unhook my rod saver, move all the rods, get in the rod box to get one rod out. Now you can still have all your rods snapped down in here, but now you don't have to move them to get another rod out. I simply step back, I open my center rod locker, pull out that I need, shut it back. It's a good feature to have in the boat. Certainly save you some steps.
Look at that rod box. Doug, any comment?
Yeah, this boat will store an amazing amount of rods. Not only do you have the center rod box, but you have a side rod box as well. I'm not sure how many this holds, but it's well over 20 poles, which is an amazing feature. I own too many fishing poles anyway, but you can get a lot of them in this boat. No shortage of coolers, no shortage of storage in any way in this boat. We've got big storage box here as well. It's got the shelf in it. Good place to store tackle, rain gear, etc. Two big storage boxes. I mean, big storage boxes on the rear deck. Boat has it all. I mean, if you're wanting a first class, absolutely a first class boat, I cannot see anybody not wanting one of these Z521s. The boat, you know, our existing Z521s, great boat, great riding boat, but I'm going to tell you this Z521C has twice the hole shot of our existing model boat. I don't know what they did to give it hole shot, but it's got it now. The ones we have sold to guys that had Z521s in the past were really bragging about the hole shot and speed on this boat. It's an amazing boat. Ride is phenomenal. It's a great Lake of the Ozarks boat. Fantastic on Kentucky Lake when you're running them 4-foot rollers. Does very well on the trolling motor. Doesn't blow around in the wind. I can't think of a thing I would change on one of these boats. I really think Ranger, you know, they dotted their I's and crossed their T's with this model. They really listen to their customers and their dealers. and they made some very impressive changes. Really sold on this model boat.